morning students. So last day we have actually discussed about the concept of MySql with Python interface, and in that particular case of MySql with Python interface, I already discussed about that you need to install the MySql server. That is the most important thing to be connected with the Python interface. And you know that Python is actually works on the front end, where the MySql is work on the back end. And for this particular case, we are actually discussed about in our previous class how you can install the MySql and MySql DB and whatever the different types of functions that are required for this MySql with Python interface purpose. So we are actually starts with the whatever the functions that are required for the rest of the part of this chapter. We will start right now. So we need to install, first you have to know about that MySql with Python interface. In that particular case, you will see in your previous class that I discussed about whatever the different types of installation procedures are there. You need to install that for MySql DB, and you need to install the input MySql DB for the database connectivity purpose. So DB equals to MySql DB dot connect. Connect is the method, and previously I already discussed about what are the 4 parameters that are required for this connectivity purpose. That host equals to localhost, user equals to root, password equals to whatever the password you can give the MySql password purpose, and DB equals to whatever the database name. And for the connectivity purpose, you need to install import MySql dot connector, and DB equals to MySql DB dot connector dot connect, and after that you have to mention about this. Okay, so what are the important terms that I discussed about in your previous class? That already I discussed about the MySql connect method, what are the connection procedure. After that I discussed about the cursor method and execute method. These 4 methods, the most important 2 methods are there. That is, one is the cursor method. This cursor method of the MySql connection object is used to work with the database. So what will be the syntax for this? You write the cursor name equals to connection object name dot cursor. So you have to write an example like CUR is the variable that I discussed about in your previous class. DB.cursor is the method, and after that I told you what will be the execute function or execute method. That last day we discussed about that execute method is for you can write the SQL statement. Suppose you want to create a table, suppose you want to insert any data in the SQL part in SQL table, or if you want to run any particular query. Today we are actually show some programming concept about this particular area, how you can write this SQL statement, but you must be written inside of this execute method. Now one of the important method in this particular case, that is fetch one and fetch all. These 2 particular method, it fetches the single row from the result set. What is meaning of result set? Result set is actually the table, database table, from where actually you find out that particular data. A result set is an object that is returned when a cursor object is used to query of a table. For example, suppose you write CUR.execute. CUR, I already told you that it is one of the variable for the cursor variable, and you write CUR.execute, and you know that you have to return within that SQL statement within double quotation select star from table name. What is the meaning of select star from table name? If you want to see the entire table of the database part, you write select star from table name, and you write variable equals to CUR.fetch1. That means only one particular record should be displayed in that particular case. Okay, and after that if I discuss about the fetch all, this is a very important question for your class 12 board exam. What will be the difference between fetch one and fetch all? It fetches all the rows in a result set. In some have already been extracted from the result, then it retrieves the remaining rows from the result set. So if you can write CUR.execute select star from table name, exactly same statement you can write here also in case of fetch one. Exactly same thing you can write, but difference, where is the difference? Difference is there, it fetches all the rows. But here it's mentioned about it fetches the single row. That is the different part of the fetch one and fetch all. That means a single record fetching using the fetch one method, and another is the fetch all method. You can fetch all the records. So next part of this function we will discuss about in our next video.